the two teams met, just having caught a little bit of the Cardinals games in previous weeks and just knowing the talent they had. But, I mean, Steve Keim should be executive of the year for getting DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, in fact, there probably should be, a police cruiser out there, because that was like grand larceny, what he did to Houston. and then, one guy's without a job now, basically because of that. But, Kyler Murray, terrific in the run game, was not his best passing game. And, I think with Kyler, that's something that he still is going to have to work on. He missed some wide open throws last night. And it's one of those situations where you love the victory. Look, every quarterback, every player is going to have a few of those ugly games. But if the Cowboys don't turn the football over, we might have a tighter game. And those wide open throws may have become necessary. So I think that's something he's really got to clean up. But the great thing is he's got a multitude of weapons to throw the football to. What really stood out to me last night was it was a combination of the players, but the move by Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator. And I thought it was a fantastic move on his part, which is you're going against, an inexperienced save for Zach Martin before he went down with the injury. I mean, you had one rookie, actually two rookies, Zach Martin, you had two second-year guys up front. And two of those three were undrafted second-year players. So it's not as though you were going against, a second or third round offensive lineman. And for him to bring the blitz and bring the blitz and bring the pressure all night long, they were relentless about it. And I thought that really set the tone for that defense. That's what registered the turnovers. They got into the face and the head of Andy Dalton. He started rushing throws, even at times when he did have time to throw the football because of that relentless pressure. So I was thoroughly impressed with that defense last night. And it's not going to be that easy every week, but I've always loved Budda Baker. And when you've got a guy like that, he reminds me just a little bit. I don't want to put this on his shoulders too. He has a little bit of that Troy Polamalu just edge to him, because you can move him all over the field defensively, rush him off the edge, rush him up the middle. You can drop him in coverage. So he is a real joy and a pleasure to watch. So that's what stood out to me about that game last night.
Yeah, Budda is just amazing. I enjoy watching him play. Yeah. I just, cannot look, even more forward to seeing what he has out there on the field, and for the time that he has with the Cardinals. It's just amazing. What about your bad, Kevin?
Well, I'll start in Arlington, Texas last night. The bad goes with the Dallas Cowboys. They get the number one spot for probably the third time this season for their bad. The turnovers, as Ed talked about, they were on pace going into last night's game for 36 turnovers. And when you factor in last night's 4 turnovers, I think it's like 43 turnovers they're on pace for. It's just unprecedented. And then the flip side is their defense has not been able to register, any kind of support for their own offense. So the defense is playing on short fields when their offense turns it over. But then conversely, their own defense has not been able to set up the Cowboys offense with short fields. So it has been truly, truly bad. I think the Cleveland Browns definitely laid an egg. Baker Mayfield, it's going to be real interesting to see how Kevin Stefanski handles Baker Mayfield moving forward after benching him there in that game. And Baker missing a lot of throws. And, at this point in his career, these are throws and coverages that he should be reading and picking up on. So I thought Cleveland was especially bad, even though Pittsburgh's really good.
My bad was the Green Bay Packers. It was supposed to be one of those classic matchups of two of the GOATs with Brady and Aaron Rodgers down in Tampa, but it didn't even turn out to be that way. Same score as last night, Kevin, 38-10. The Buccaneers just blow out Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, so pedestrian, 16 of 35, 160 yards and 2 interceptions. Aaron Jones was a non-factor, just not the matchup that we expected from two Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even there.
Yeah, and you see what turnovers did. I mean, Green Bay moved the football up and down the field their first two possessions. Looked like they were going to be able to just work Tampa Bay's defense to whatever direction they wanted. You get the pick six, and then you get the other short field that they get to work off of. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, completely different game. And
for me, it's a combination of you. One, as we get into the ugly.
Sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to throw that at you. I know you love the Packers, but you guys look bad on Sunday.
Oh, gosh, it was bad. Worse than bad. But my bad for the weekend was the Dallas Cowboys. You summed it up, right? And from our earlier from the conversation earlier in this segment, I don't know that there's anything left for me to say about the bad in the Dallas Cowboys for this last weekend. Hopefully they're able to turn it around. I know Andy Dalton has, a little bit of a challenge and something, some work to do, but, looking forward to seeing what's ahead. But with following up with you, Ed, with your bad, actually, that was my ugly. My ugly was seeing Aaron Rodgers and how he was just laid out by Tom Brady. It was just brutal for me to watch. And I expected more of a battle, more of a game for it to be closer. You have 2 of the greatest going head to head, and it was just a blowout, total loss against Tampa Bay, 38-10, like we said it. And how does Aaron Rodgers bounce back from this and the loss he took against Tom Brady? Like, is this going to be something that's going to give him some fire and be like, hey, let's go out there, let's put it all out there for this next week's game? Or is it something that's going to, it's going to turn him the other way around and take some time to pick back up from?
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers will be fine. It's one of those games. I mean, he said it himself. It's a wake-up call. Tampa Bay is... I would put Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh's defense at 1 and 2 in the league. So it's not as though he did it against, they did it against a poor defense. It's a really good defense, and he picked a bad day to have a bad day against a really good defense. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. And what about your ugly, Kevin?
Well, I'll give 2 uglies. The Cowboys get 2 categories this week, so I'll put the Cowboys in the ugly category. There's no way that they can't be in the ugly category. And the other team that I forgot about could have been in the bad, but we'll slide them into the ugly. But Minnesota, that's a season that is quickly turning ugly for Mike Zimmerman and Kirk Cousins and that crew up there. They had a lot of high aspirations and big time goals in front of them, and it's going off the rails real quickly.
The ugly for me is the worst team in football, the New York Jets, and they just continue to get worse. In Miami, they went 2 for 17 on third downs, Kevin. This team is
totally still playing?
Yeah. They're obligated. I'm sure they're contractually obligated to.
Oh, I thought they had checked out. I bet they took COVID for the rest of the season. They were just
Well, Kevin, they checked out a long time ago. You know that.
They were going exempt the rest of the year.
Between the Greg Williams comments, which led up to the Miami game, and just the whole Le'Veon Bell situation, they traded him to Kansas City. They got rid of him. Then they go to Miami. They laid an egg, got shut out 24-0. They just continue to get worse and worse and worse. And how does Adam Gase still have a job?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thankfully, we're not New York fans.
That is the good thing. And sorry, we don't have an answer for you, Ed, but maybe we'll see if the Jets give you an answer here, maybe shortly. And before we let you go, Kevin, I just have to ask 2 questions. We are talking sports, and of course, Suns. And I have to ask, NBA Finals just wrapped up. What was your take on the NBA Finals and what they were? Lakers coming out victorious with the championship. So tell me a little bit of that for you seeing that this year.
I wasn't completely surprised by the Lakers winning it. The disappointing part was that Goran Dragic and the Heat weren't healthy. And look, I understand it's part of the game, but I loved watching the Heat play and work their way through to the NBA Finals. And I've always had a special place in my heart for Goran Dragic. I mean, he's really, truly one of the good people in the league. He's just a good man. And so I was happy and excited for him to get to his first finals. And then for him to miss basically the entire season or series with the foot injury was tough to watch. And then Bam Adebayo being injured for a couple of games. But I think even had they been healthy, I think the Lakers would have found a way to prevail. I could have seen that series going 7 games. The biggest disappointment, I think, for everybody is that Clippers and Lakers conference finals never materialized. And as we have seen, it's cost Doc Rivers his job. And you're hearing some of the fallout, from guys. And it was one of the concerns with that group having been put together the way they were. And now you've got guys who are saying, we were frustrated with the special treatment that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were given. And it just goes to show how critically important the one area in sports, no matter what the sport, no matter who the team is, you can look at all these statistics, but chemistry makes such a huge difference. It's one of the reasons why the Miami Heat got to the NBA Finals, because it's a group that really loved playing with and for each other and playing for their head coach. And in the Clippers locker room, there were a lot of just personal agendas, and you saw that, come to fruition. So not surprising there. And, as we chatted, it was fun to be a part of it with the Suns for their 8-0 bubble run. I would have loved to have seen how that team would have fared, getting into a playoff series and, having to win 4 games, because I just thought that their confidence reached a whole new level. And it's just got me that much more excited and amped up about getting next season started, whenever that might be.
Yes, I'm so excited. We all are Suns fans. And even if you were not a Suns fans, there was a lot of basketball fans out there that were just excited to see what the Suns had to put out and seeing them move forward. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I'm excited for what next season has to bring to the team. And as we're talking finals and playoffs, and the last question that I have for you, who do you have going as the pennant winner for the World Series?
I think the Dodgers will finally break through. It's a team that's loaded, and they've come up short in recent seasons. I thought for them rallying 3-1 from the Braves, down 3-1 against the Braves, said a lot about the makeup of this team, and I think they will prevail against a good, scrappy Tampa Bay team, but they just don't have the horses or the weapons, I think.
Amazing that it's been just starting it off. This World Series kicked off today, so I'm excited to see, like you said, for them to duel it off. And I just can't say how grateful we are to have you on once again. And we'll make sure to have you back on again soon, as we have the basketball season start up soon. I'll have you again for basketball and some more football here soon too, as we move on towards the season. So once again, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Like I say, I appreciate the invite, and I'll try to stay on Ed's good list.
You'll never get off that list, Kevin. Thank you, brother, for being with us. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks,
Thank
Kev.
you, guys. You too. Good seeing you, brother.
All right, brother.
Take care.
Isn't it great to have Kevin on again after, talking some basketball and a little bit of football last time, and having him on again and give us some knowledge?
Of course. I mean, nobody does it better than Kevin Ray. Of course, he's entrenched with the Dallas Cowboys and the Phoenix Suns. I mean, what better voice to lead into and to actually lean on and get and just get knowledge from than Kevin Ray? Definitely.
My goodness. And we have right now World Series. It has kicked off. It's started. It's hot and heavy. My goodness. We have Dodgers and the Rays going at it. Right now we have them in the 7th, bottom of the 7th, 8-3. Dodgers are leading. But before we go into talking World Series, I just want to go ahead and touch on some postseason, which was amazing to watch, and just how fun and incredible October baseball is. Just gets me so excited. It's my favorite time of the year. I think Christmas comes second.
Is it really?
Yeah.